Talufalava, Malolele. It's an absolute pleasure to be here at the end of another academic year, celebrating the success and wishing all of our young men and all the parents here today the best wishes over the holiday season. Just to extend Mr. Barclay's warm welcome to all our parents, our guests, the Christian brothers that are here today, our board chair, Mr. Andy Steele. Thank you for coming along today. There's been lots, yet again, in Christchurch, lots of highs and some lows for us this year as a community. In March, we were all part of something that we thought we would never ever see in our city. And I spoke at length about this at our senior prize giving, but it is worth mentioning once again just how proud I was of our St. Thomas's community, and in particular the senior leaders, the senior student leaders, and the way that they led their student body through that really difficult time. And I believe what I'm hearing right across the city, and I'm sure the parents in the room will be experiencing this in their workplaces as well, and we're certainly hearing it across the school network in Christchurch, that the adrenaline that was alive in all of us throughout quite large portions of the early part of the year is certainly, we're seeing increasing levels of fatigue and anxiety across many members of our community here in Christchurch. So in line with the fantastic liturgy that we started off with, it is really important that we do look to our faith. And it is in our faith, in the spirit of Edmund Rice, who was inspired by Jesus in that story, that relationships are at the heart of everything. And boys especially, I want you to understand this message as you go into the holiday period. Relationships are at the heart of everything. Sometimes we can lose our train of thought and focus on holidays, on gifts. But actually, boys, there are many people within our community that are hurting. Many people that are lonely. And many people that don't have the gifts that we have. So my challenge to you is rack your brains and think of one person. It might be an extended family member, it might be a close family member. It might be a member of the parish that you belong to. But try and make some time for those that may be at this time in their life feeling that they are at the margins of society. Really important message. Alongside the challenging times that we've had this year, we've also had some amazing highs. And the highlights for me that I've seen continue to be the work that we're seeing of our students inside the classroom. Once again, as I explained at the whole school prize giving, we saw some really large increases in our NCA achievement, particularly at level 2. But level 1, we're really proud of those results. And the challenge goes out to the year 10s in the hall at the moment, that you do maintain that focus next year and you achieve well. You're all very capable. You've had an outstanding education so far. The foundation has been built. It's important that you go forth into the senior part of the school and you achieve well. We're also seeing in our junior school what the term that's quite popular in education at the moment in terms of value added. So when we compare results as cohorts within our junior school of where our students were using eASTL data and compare that with the end of the year, we're seeing large increases from our students as a whole. So we're really proud of that and really proud of the work that our staff have put into our junior program in particular. Before I talk a little bit about the staff movements, the comings and goings that we'll have moving into next year, I just want to take some time to speak about the work that our staff do here at St. Thomas's. I'm talking about the staff that ensure the grounds that we're able to operate in are in such fantastic condition. And I'm sure that everyone in the hall here will agree with me The environment that we work and learn in, we've seen massive increases in that in the last couple of years. I'm talking about our support staff that greet our students each morning if they come into the admin, always with a smile and often under stressful circumstances. I'm talking of the fantastic teacher aides that we have operating in our classrooms, working with our students to ensure that there is success for all. And I'm talking of our teachers that understand here at St Thomas's this place isn't an 8:30 to 2:30 job. It's not just about the learning of the academic subject that they may be teaching. The staff that are standing around you understand that they have a much larger job than that. They understand the work that they are trying to follow in the footsteps of Edmund Rice, our founder, when he has been described in some of the writings about his work that he was a mother and a father to the students that he taught. And I know the staff here at St Thomas's understand and accept that responsibility, that we are working in partnership with our parents to grow good people. Academic success, sporting success, cultural success, we'll celebrate that as we have today. But ultimately, when our students graduate at the end of year 13, what we do hope is that Edmund's mission is deep inside them. That at moments in their life when they are working with people that do not have a voice or are at the margins of society, that they will stand up at that moment and be a voice and speak up for those that are unable to. That will be when we know we've done a good job here. Some of the staff movements moving forward, we have some staff, sadly, that are moving on to different parts of their career at different schools. And I'd just like to wish these people all the best. So I'll go through the staff that are leaving and we'll give the staff a big round of applause. So we have Ms. Jean Gagnon, who has been here for a year in a fixed term position, and her contract comes to an end at the end of this year, and she'll be moving on to employment in another school. We've got Mr. Kareem Lovedale, who took leave this year, who's a fantastic teacher, who's passionate about classics, and he's in Europe travelling in a place which is very dear to his heart, and it is with a very heavy heart that he did hand his resignation in to me. The cooling of Europe and picking grapes in the south of France, we just couldn't compete with. Mr. Jason Smallman, who we farewell at the end of term 3, won't be back with us at the start of next year, as he takes some time out to spend some very cherished time with his young child. We farewell Mr. Heinz Huang, who will be departing, working as a tutor in our Chinese language department. And we farewell Mr. Sam Corrie, who has been working predominantly in our junior school, taking the majority of Mr. Smallman's classes. And another staff member who works in our learning support team is Mrs. Rachel Langley, who we farewell on maternity leave and wish her all the best in the next phase of her life in becoming a mother. If we could give all those wonderful staff members a big round of applause. I'd also like to wish Miss Judy Maxwell the best of luck as she takes a year's study leave to continue her passions around further study. If we could give Miss Maxwell a big round of applause. And it is my pleasure to announce that we have 2 new staff members that will be starting next year, and one of those is Mr. Daniel Ryan, who will be replacing Mr. Lovedale's position. And Mr. Daniel Ryan is an old boy St Thomas's. Those students that are heavily involved in rowing will know him very well. He's very passionate about our school. Being our boy, he understands our culture, and equal to Mr. Lovedale's very passionate of the social sciences and in particular classics. We'll also welcome at the start of next year a new staff member, Mrs. Judina Quinn, who is coming to teach in our junior STEM area. And Mrs. Quinn comes from a previous employment history as a structural engineer, which brought her initially to Christchurch. However, her true calling to want to be a teacher has come through. She was educated herself at St Mary's in Auckland in a Catholic school, and has a really strong understanding of our culture and our faith here at St Thomas's. So we will welcome those new teachers next year, and we'll continue to farewell our staff that are moving on later this afternoon when our staff come together. Boys, I'll finish by really wishing you a very safe holiday. Unfortunately, at this time of year, and I want you to listen very carefully to this, it's always a far too common headline in newspapers around the December-January time, where we read the terrible and devastating news of young people that make poor decisions. And at times, the ramifications can be the worst type that you can get. Enjoy your rest, boys, but look after yourselves, make good decisions, look after your friends. And as I said, be strong members of our community in the way that Edmund was. Whawhatai lava, nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa.